My dearest child, pause for just a moment. Breathe. Let everything around you fall into stillness. Let the heaviness of this day begin to settle, not to weigh you down, but so I may begin to lift you up. For I am here, closer than the sound of your own thoughts, closer than the breath that gently rises and falls within your chest. I have seen the battle behind your smile. I have counted the hours you spent trying to hold yourself together while the world demanded too much and gave too little in return. There were days when even waking up felt like lifting a mountain, and you wondered how long you could carry the burdens that no one else could see. And yet, here you are, still standing, still breathing, still trying. My beloved, I want you to know this. Not a single moment of your silent struggle has gone unnoticed. The pain you buried deep within you, the tears that never made it to the surface, the questions you were too afraid to speak out loud, I have heard them all. You may have felt alone in those moments, but you were never abandoned. Never. I was there, holding the pieces of your heart when it shattered quietly in the night. I was the whisper that told you to keep going, even when everything around you told you to give up. I was the hand you felt brushing your spirit when you had no words left for prayer. Every sigh of weariness, every breath that trembled with uncertainty, I was there. You see, my child, I have never turned away from your pain. I have never dismissed your weariness or minimized the weight of your wounds. I have felt them all, not just with sympathy, but with deep and abiding compassion. Because you are mine. You belong to me not in a distant or abstract sense, but in the most intimate, loving way possible. You are my child, formed by my hands and sustained by my love. And today, as the world continues to rush by in a blur of demands, distractions and noise, I am asking you to step out of the whirlwind and into the quiet of my presence. I want you to hear my voice again. The voice that speaks not condemnation but comfort, not guilt but grace, not fear but peace. I know that your heart has been wounded by the carelessness of others. I have seen the way some have used their words like weapons, not realizing or perhaps not caring how deeply they cut. I have seen the misunderstandings, the betrayals, the whispers behind your back. I have watched as you tried to maintain peace when every part of you wanted to cry out for justice. And I have watched you choose love anyway. I have seen you stay silent, not out of weakness, but out of strength. That matters to me. Do not think that your gentleness has been in vain. Do not believe the lie that your kindness has been wasted. Every act of forgiveness, every moment of patience, every time you chose integrity over retaliation, it has been recorded. Not in books written by men, but in the eternal account written by my hand. And one day you will see the fruit. One day you will understand just how powerful your love really was. But for now, I ask you this: lay it down. Lay down the pain they caused. Lay down the expectations they never met. Lay down the weight of proving your worth, of earning your place, of trying to be understood by those who have never seen the depth of who you are. You do not need to fight for justice with your own hands. I am your defender. I am the one who sees all things clearly, and I will not let your story be written by lies or cruelty. I will lift the veil in time. I will bring truth into the open, not to shame, but to heal. Not to expose for the sake of revenge, but to restore what has been broken. You, my beloved, were never meant to carry the burden of vindication. That is not your role. Yours is to love, to stay tender, to keep your heart open even when it aches. And I will protect that heart. I will surround it with strength. I will plant it beside waters that never run dry. You will bear fruit again. You will see goodness again. You will know peace again. There is no wound too deep that my love cannot reach, no betrayal so bitter that my grace cannot redeem. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not wasting your time trying to live rightly. You are planting seeds in soil that will yield an eternal harvest. So take courage, my child. Lift your head, even if your heart still feels heavy. You are not walking this path alone. I am guiding you with hands you cannot see but can always trust. My presence surrounds you like the morning dew, gentle, invisible, but life-giving. Let your soul rest in this truth. You are safe, you are seen, you are deeply and eternally loved. And this is only the beginning. My beloved child, I see that your heart is still trembling. Even as my words begin to settle over you like soft rain on dry ground, there remains a part of you that fears to fully exhale. You've grown so used to holding your breath in moments of pain, waiting for the next blow, the next disappointment, the next silent goodbye. But you don't need to live like that anymore. This moment right here is not just a pause in the chaos. It is a holy invitation. I am not merely comforting you for what has passed. I am preparing you for what is to come. Because what lies ahead is not more heartbreak, but healing. Not more hiding, but rising. Not more silence, but a song that will echo from the deepest part of you, declaring that you survived and, not just barely, but beautifully. I know you've questioned your own strength. I've heard you whisper in the night, "How much more can I take?" And I have answered not with lightning or thunder, but with the quiet, steady breath that kept rising in your chest. That was me. I was the strength you didn't recognize. I was the reason your soul did not collapse under the weight. I was the stillness when your thoughts screamed. I was the gentle hand that steadied you when your knees felt like giving way. You see, I have never asked you to be strong on your own. I only asked you to trust in my strength. The strength that never runs dry. The strength that shaped mountains, parted seas, and still cradles every fragile part of your being. When you say, "I can't go on," I say, "You don't have to, I will carry you." You are not weak for needing me. You are wise for recognizing that even your most courageous efforts will eventually reach their end. And when they do, I am there, ready, always. There have been things done to you that were not fair, that broke your spirit and left you wondering if love was safe, if kindness was real, if you would ever be able to fully trust again. There are people who should have protected you but didn't, words that should have uplifted you but instead wounded, moments that should have brought joy but instead brought silence and shame. And you tried to move on. You tried to make peace with the hurt. You buried it deep. You told yourself, "It's okay, I'm fine." But child, I see what you buried. And I say, let it come into the light, not to shame you, never, but to finally set you free. What you bring to me, I can heal. What you entrust to me, I can redeem. The pain you hide in the deepest corners of your soul, I already know it. I was there when it happened, and I have never stopped grieving with you. You are not too broken. You are not too far gone. You are not too complicated for my love. I am not afraid of your wounds. I do not turn away from your anger, your doubt, your fear. Bring it all to me. I am the safest place for your rawest truths. There is no need to dress your soul up for me. I loved you before the world taught you to be strong. I loved you when you were still learning to walk. I love you now, even with all the questions, the battle scars, the unfinished places. You are not just loved, you are chosen. Chosen not because you have done everything right, but because I saw you and called you mine long before you even knew how to call my name. You were not an afterthought. You were not a backup plan. You are a divine design, knit together with purpose, strength, tenderness, and fire. And though the world has tried to strip that truth from you through rejection, disappointment, betrayal, I am restoring it now, piece by piece, truth by truth. You are not too late. You are not behind. You have not missed your moment. Everything that was lost, I can return. Everything that was broken, I can rebuild. Everything that was delayed, I can redeem with a timing more perfect than you can imagine. But I am not simply taking you back to what was. I am calling you forward into what can be, into a life that is not marked by survival but by joy, not marked by fear but by peace, not defined by what others did to you, but by what I am doing through you. My beloved, the world may not understand your story, but I do. The ones who walked away, the ones who doubted you, the ones who underestimated the fire in your bones, they are not the ones who wrote your name on the palm of their hand. I did, and my grip does not fail. You may not see the whole picture right now, but I do. You may feel like nothing is changing, but trust me, everything is shifting, slowly, quietly, powerfully. I am setting things in motion that your eyes cannot yet perceive. I am preparing hearts, aligning moments, stirring favor, clearing paths, and all of it is for you. You have cried in secret, but I will reward you in the open. You have been faithful in the shadows, but I will honor you in the light. You have walked through fire, but you will not even smell like smoke. Let hope rise again, not because everything is perfect, but because I am still working, and I am not done. Not with your story, not with your dreams, not with your healing, not with you. So today, I whisper again, come closer, rest in me, lay down the armor you've worn for too long. I will be your shield, I will be your song, I will be your safe place, and I will never let you go. My beloved child, as you sit in the quiet and let these words wash over your soul, I ask you to remember one thing: your journey has never been random. Not one step you've taken, not one tear you've cried, not one valley you've walked through has been outside of my knowing. Even the detours, even the delays, even the heartbreaks you never saw coming. I have used them all, not to punish you, but to shape you into something more glorious than you ever imagined. You have asked me, why did it happen this way? And why did they hurt me? You've whispered in exhaustion, was all of that pain even necessary? And though the answers haven't always come in the moment you expected, I have never ignored your cry. I have always been responding not with silence, but with a preparation so sacred it needed to happen beyond what your eyes could see. There are things I have been building within you that required stillness. There are depths of wisdom that only pain could dig. And though the process has felt cruel at times, I assure you my intentions for you are only ever born of love. The fire was never to destroy you. It was to refine you. You see, there is a strength inside you that cannot be learned in comfort, a faith that cannot be formed without friction, a love that cannot become unshakable unless it has been tested. And my child, you have endured. You have stood when it would have been easier to fall. You have remained when walking away seemed like relief. You have chosen to keep your heart open when everything in you wanted to close it forever. This matters more than you know. I am not finished with you. No Hat's coming next is not survival but revival, not just peace but power. You are entering into a season where everything that was buried will be brought back to life. Dreams you thought had died, hope you had stopped praying for, healing you thought was impossible. I am bringing it all to the surface again, not in the way it once was, but in a new and redeemed way. You have felt forgotten, but you were being hidden. You have felt overlooked, but I was covering you, protecting you from premature exposure, shielding you from people and places that would not have honored your heart or your calling. But now, I am calling you forward, not into chaos, not into striving, but into clarity. You will begin to see with spiritual eyes the people I am placing around you. Some will leave, and that is okay. Bless them, release them, let them go in peace. They were a chapter, not your whole story. But others I am sending to uplift you, to strengthen you, to reflect back to you the beauty that I see in you. Receive them. Do not resist the good that is coming. You do not need to earn it. You only need to receive it. You've been carrying shame like it was your inheritance, but it was never meant for you. Others may have handed it to you through words, through rejection, through their inability to see your worth, but I am taking it back. Shame does not belong to you. Fear does not belong to you. Bitterness does not belong to you. These are not your portion. These are not your legacy. What belongs to you is peace. What belongs to you is grace. What belongs to you is joy that runs deeper than circumstance and brighter than the darkness that tried to consume you. You are not behind. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not invisible. You are seen. You are known. You are loved with a love so deep, so pure, so relentless that nothing, not even your worst day, can ever separate you from it. Let go of the need to have all the answers. Let go of the pressure to make it all make sense. I'm working in ways that exceed your understanding for a reason, because what I am doing is bigger than just you. It's bigger than your comfort, bigger than your timelines, bigger than the dreams you wrote in your journal. I am not just writing a story of blessing, I am writing a legacy of light, a testimony of redemption, a mirror of my mercy through you. You may feel like you're walking alone, but the heavens are watching over every step. My angels surround you, not just to protect you, but to prepare the way. I have gone ahead of you. The doors that need to open, watch them swing wide. The ones that need to close, do not be afraid when they shut. What I withhold, I do out of love. What I release, I do in wisdom. So trust me. Trust me when it's quiet. Trust me when it hurts. Trust me when it doesn't make sense. Trust me even when you feel unworthy, because I see the worth in you that you cannot yet see in yourself. My child, you are not a mistake. You are not forgotten. You are not too late or too far behind. You are right on time, the perfect time. And though the world may measure success by noise and numbers, I measure it by faithfulness, by love, by obedience in the unseen places. That is what you have given me. And now, it is my turn to pour back into you. Rest in that. Rest in me. My beloved child, I know there have been nights when your soul trembled quietly beneath the weight of what no one else could see. You've learned how to smile while bleeding inside, how to laugh while silently aching, how to keep going while wondering if you had anything left to give. And in those moments when the tears were too sacred to fall, when the weariness reached the bones of your spirit, I was not distant. I was near, closer than your thoughts, closer than your breath, holding you, shielding you, whispering over your life when the world seemed too loud to hear me. You have wondered whether anything is changing, whether the prayers you've whispered into the darkness are doing anything at all, whether the faith you cling to is still heard in the halls of heaven. I want you to know this truth today. Nothing you do in love, in faith, in quiet obedience is ever wasted. Nothing you have entrusted to me disappears into the void. Everything you place in my hands finds its way into the unfolding story I am writing over your life. I see how you continue to choose me even when it feels hard. I see how you rise again after each fall, not because you feel strong, but because you still believe somewhere deep down that I haven't let go, that I'm still holding your future, that this isn't the end. And you're right, this is not the end. You are in the middle of becoming. You are standing in the fire, yes, but not to be consumed. You are in the refining place, the sacred ground where all that is false is falling away, and what remains will be unshakable. You may not feel the strength being built in you. You may only feel the burning. But my child, listen closely. You are being made new. You've cried for clarity. You've longed for understanding. You've asked me, why this path and why so long? And while I know the waiting has been heavy, while I know you've doubted whether you're doing enough, being enough, I want to shift your perspective. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not late for your destiny. You are right on time, my time. The things that felt like detours were in fact protection. The doors that didn't open were not rejections, they were redirections. I am not only guiding your path, I am building the foundation underneath it. I am working in places your eyes cannot yet see, setting things in order so that when the moment comes, you will be ready not just to receive the promise, but to carry it with grace, with humility, with joy. Do you remember the times you almost gave up but chose to keep walking? The nights you cried yourself to sleep, then got up the next morning and tried again? The moments you forgave when you could have hardened your heart? I remember them all, and not one of those moments has slipped through my fingers. You are not invisible to me. You are not lost in the crowd. You are my beloved, my chosen one, my joy, and because you are mine, I will not let your pain go unused. I will not let your tears fall to the ground without purpose. I will not let the injustice you endured become your identity. I am a redeemer, and I will redeem everything. Not just the obvious things, not just the big moments, but even the smallest wounds you've hidden from the world. I know there were things said to you that pierced deeper than swords, words that were spoken in anger or selfishness, words that questioned your value, your voice, your goodness. You may still hear them echo, haunting you in moments of silence. But my child, today I silence those voices. You are not what they said you were. You are not your worst day. You are not your darkest memory. You are not your shame. You are who I say you are, and I call you loved. I call you pure. I call you strong. I call you restored. I call you whole. You don't have to carry the burden of proving your worth to anyone. You don't have to defend your heart to people who never tried to understand it. Let them go. Let their judgments fall away. They do not hold your destiny. I do. I am teaching you to stop striving and start receiving. Not because you haven't worked hard, but because you were never meant to earn love. My love is not for sale. It is not performance-based. It is not given to the impressive. It is given freely to you as you are, right now. You can rest now, truly rest. Not just sleep, but soul rest. The kind that settles your heart and lifts the weight of having to hold it all together. You were never meant to carry this alone. That's why I've come to remind you, again, you are not alone. When you walk into rooms and feel like no one sees you, I see you. When you say yes in secret and no one applauds, I applaud you. When you love people who don't return it, when you give without recognition, when you choose humility over proving a point, I celebrate you. And I will reward you. Not because you demanded it, but because you chose me when it cost you something. Because you walked in light even when darkness pressed in. Because you chose to believe in the unseen. So listen closely now, because this part matters. A shift is coming. Not a small shift. Not a temporary feeling. But a deep, holy, irreversible change in the atmosphere of your life. You will begin to sense it not through chaos or noise, but through a sacred clarity. Doors that once refused to budge will begin to open. Connections you didn't expect will find their way to you. Burdens that clung for years will begin to lift, quietly, as if melted by the sunrise. And you, my beloved, will feel different. Not all at once, but gradually, steadily. The fear will loosen its grip. The doubt will no longer dictate your pace. The shame will no longer sit on your shoulders like armor. You will begin to walk lighter. You will laugh again, dream again, hope without fear of disappointment. Because I am breathing new life into the places where you once only knew survival. You will no longer just survive, child. You will live. My beloved child, as the light begins to break through your heaviness, I want you to notice something sacred rising within you, something fragile but powerful, a quiet hope. It may not roar, it may not announce itself with fanfare, but it stirs gently beneath the rubble of your disappointments, and that, my child, is the beginning of restoration. I have not brought you this far to leave you stranded. I have not led you through the wilderness to abandon you at the edge of the promise. I have been with you every step, yes, even the steps you regretted, even the places you thought were wrong turns, because even there I was weaving mercy into the detours. There were moments when you thought you failed me, moments when you believed you had gone too far, fallen too low, wandered too long. But I was never measuring your worth by your perfection. I was always looking at your heart. And do you know what I saw? I saw someone who refused to give up, someone who, even when drowning in shame, still reached for me, someone who, though bruised and battered, still whispered, "God, I want to come home." You never left my sight. You never lost your place in my heart. There is no condemnation in my presence. Only healing, only grace, only open arms, ready to receive you again and again and again, because you are not a burden. You are my joy. I know the lies you've heard, the ones that tell you you're too much or not enough, that you're too broken to be used, that your story is too messy to be redeemed, that if people saw the real you, they would leave. But listen closely, child. I see everything, and I'm still here. I know every hidden corner of your soul, and I call it worthy of love. Not because of what you've done, but because of who you are to me. You are my child, my creation, my delight. And I will not let shame keep you from the destiny I've written for you. I am breaking the power of that shame right now, not with punishment, but with truth. The truth that says, you are clean, you are chosen, you are cherished. The truth that says, your past cannot disqualify what I have already qualified. Let that truth settle deep in you. Let it breathe through the places where fear once ruled. You no longer have to perform to earn your place. You no longer have to hide the parts of you that are still healing. I am not disgusted by your wounds, I died for them. I am not disappointed in your weakness. I designed my grace to meet you exactly there. There is nothing you need to hide from me, nothing that disqualifies you from my presence. And the voice that says otherwise, that is not my voice. My voice is still gentle, clear. It lifts, not crushes. It builds, not shames. It frees, not binds. So tune your heart again to the sound of truth. Drown out the noise that accuses and discourages. That is not the voice of your father. That is the voice of fear, of past pain, of distorted identity. But I am giving you a new name, one that rises above the old stories and shameful labels. I call you redeemed, healed, anointed, sent. And yes, you are being sent, not just restored, but repurposed. What you've been through is not just ending, it's being transformed. Your pain will become power. Your scars will become signs of grace. Your brokenness will become a doorway for others to find healing. You are not a mistake trying to be corrected. You are a miracle being revealed. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Your presence on this earth is not accidental. I placed you here, in this generation, in this time, for a reason far greater than you can yet imagine. And I will reveal it to you not all at once, but step by step, as you walk with me, as you lean into my love, as you release your need to control the outcome and trust the one who holds it all. I know the road has been long. I know there are parts of you still weary, still uncertain. But I am not finished, and neither are you. You will rise again, not with the same heart you once had, but with a heart that's been tempered by grace and lit by wisdom. You will carry peace not just for yourself, but for others. You will move forward, not driven by fear, but led by faith. And the next time you stand before a storm, you will not tremble, because you will remember who walks with you. The same one who calms the seas now stands by your side. And in that confidence, you will speak peace into the chaos. You will walk into rooms and atmospheres will shift. You will carry love that changes people just by being present. You will live with such holy freedom that it invites others into their own. Yes, my child, that is where you are headed. Not back to what was, but forward into what is being born. Let the tears come if they must. Let the sorrow release. It is safe to grieve what's past, but do not mourn as one without hope, because what I am building from the ashes is more radiant than you dare to dream. You are still on time. You are still covered. You are still called, and I am still moving. Not because you are perfect, but because I am faithful, and my promises, they never fail. My beloved child, even now, as you sit with all these truths laid before your heart, I know there's still a quiet part of you wondering, but how do I begin again? You've carried the weight of disappointment for so long that lightness feels unfamiliar. You've walked with sorrow as a silent companion. You've learned to function in survival mode, to expect delay, to brace for loss. But I tell you this, with all the gentleness of heaven, you don't have to live like that anymore. You do not have to earn your way back to joy. You do not have to prove yourself worthy of peace. You do not have to pretend that everything is fine when your soul longs for healing. You can start from where you are, right here, right now. Even if you're still trembling, even if you're still unsure, I receive you as you are, not as the person you think you should be, but as the one I already love. I see how you've learned to silence your own needs, how you've told yourself that your healing can wait, that others deserve more, that somehow your pain must be hidden for the sake of peace. But child, I care about your wounds, I care about your voice, and I want to see you whole and not just functional, not just surviving, but truly alive. Let me be the one who restores what life has drained from you. Let me tend to the garden of your heart. Let me show you how gentle healing can be. I know you've had moments where healing felt like tearing, where growth felt more like grief, where moving forward felt like betrayal to what was lost. But I am not asking you to forget the pain. I am asking you to let me transform it. I waste nothing, not even heartbreak. Every broken piece of your story can become a window where my light shines through. Every scar can be a place where compassion now lives. Every valley you've walked can become a path for someone else to follow out of the darkness. You've asked me before, why me? Why the long wait? Why the lonely seasons? Why the closed doors? And though some answers come slowly, I want you to know this: you were being prepared. Prepared to carry what others could not. Prepared to understand depths others may never explore. Prepared to love with the kind of tenderness that only grows in those who have truly been held by me. This tenderness of yours, it is not weakness, it is power. The power to forgive what the world says is unforgivable. The power to love again when logic says to withhold. The power to hope again, to rise again, to speak truth again, even if your voice shakes. You, my child, carry resurrection power. The kind that does not just get up, but gets up carrying others too. The kind that turns ashes into beauty, not through force, but through faith. And I know, sometimes faith feels small. Sometimes it feels like a flicker instead of a flame. But even a flicker can light a dark room. Even a whisper of belief can move my heart. You do not need loud confidence to be close to me. You just need honest surrender. So bring me your flickering flame. Bring me your shaky prayers. Bring me your tired yes. I can do more with your weakness than the world can do with strength. Because I am not building your life on what the world calls secure. I am building it on something eternal, something unshakable, something that does not crack under pressure. And yes, storms may still come. People may still misunderstand you. You may still feel moments of weariness, but they will not defeat you. Because this time, you will know where your strength comes from. This time, you will not carry burdens alone. This time, you will walk in peace, not because the path is easy, but because I walk it with you. You will feel me in the quiet. You will hear me in the stillness. You will sense me when you least expect it, in the kindness of a stranger, in the way your heart suddenly feels lighter, in the moments when you smile and realize, I'm okay. Yes, you will be okay. More than okay, you will thrive. You will look back at this season one day and say, that was the moment I returned to who I truly was. That was the moment I stopped running from myself. That was the moment I let God have all of me and He didn't turn me away. My beloved, I never turned you away. Not once. Not in your doubt. Not in your silence. Not in your disappointment. Not even when you questioned my goodness. I stayed. I stayed because I love you. And I'm still here now. Not asking you to pretend. just inviting you to be real, to be present, to be held. I know the world taught you to always do, but I am teaching you to be loved, to be whole, to be enough. And when you learn to live from that place, everything changes. You begin to pray differently, love differently, move differently, not from fear, but from fullness. That is where I'm taking you, into the fullness of your life, into the joy that doesn't depend on perfect outcomes, into the security of knowing you are not holding the future together. I am. So rest, child. Rest in this truth. I am not done, and you are not disqualified. You are still the one I chose. You are still the one I believe in. And your best days, yes, your most radiant days are not behind you. They are still ahead. My beloved child, as you open your heart more fully, you may feel something unfamiliar, rising the sense that you are no longer alone inside your struggle. That is not your imagination, that is my presence. I have always been near, but now I am making that nearness known to your spirit in ways you can no longer deny. This isn't just comfort, it's confirmation. I am with you, and I am moving. Yes, I know you've heard that before. And I know your heart has waited in quiet rooms, believing and then questioning, rising and then faltering. You've looked for signs, you've watched for progress, you've wondered if your faith was even working, and yet you're still here, still listening, still hoping. That is not weakness. That is worship. When you choose to stay in relationship with me in the middle of delay, that is worship. When you say, I don't understand, but I trust you, that is worship. When your knees tremble, but you refuse to let go of my hand, that is worship. And I receive it. Every time you choose me over fear, over bitterness, over control, you are planting eternal seeds. Seeds that will not only bear fruit in your life, but in the lives of others whose names you don't yet know. This is why the enemy fought so hard to silence you, to wear you down, to convince you you're forgotten, because he knows what's inside of you. He knows the power I've placed within you. And now, you are beginning to know it too. You are rising not because the path suddenly became easy, but because my strength is rising in you. The very same spirit that raised Christ from the dead now lives in you, my child. You don't have to feel it to believe it. You just need to know it's true. I know how tempting it is to judge your journey based on what others can see. But there is so much happening within you that is invisible to the outside world. You are becoming steady, rooted, deeply anchored, and that invisible growth is what will carry you through every visible battle ahead. Others may not understand how far you've come, but I do. I was there the day you almost gave up. I saw the night you buried your face in your hands and said, God, I can't do this anymore. And I leaned in. I placed my hand on your shoulder and whispered, then let me do it in you. And you let me. And that's why you're still standing. Not because you had all the answers, but because you didn't run from me when everything was unclear. You may have crawled, you may have doubted, you may have cried, but you didn't quit. And now, I am lifting you, not just emotionally, not just spiritually. I am lifting the entire atmosphere of your life. You will begin to sense the shift not through striving, but through surrender. Let go of the timeline you created. Let go of the image of how you thought it was supposed to unfold. Let go of the pressure to control every outcome. I'm not asking you to abandon hope. I'm asking you to let me hold the pen. I know what you need before you speak it. I know what doors should open and which ones must stay shut. I know the relationships that are meant to bless you and the ones that will drain you. I see the full picture, not just where you are, but where I'm leading you. And I promise you, where I'm leading you is good. You will not be disappointed by the promises I've made. Not because they will happen on your terms, but because they will happen in my perfection. I will do it in such a way that you will look back and say, only God could have written that. So keep your heart open. Keep your hands lifted. Keep your soul in expectation, even if it hurts, even if it's quiet, even if it feels slow. I'm working behind every silence. I'm orchestrating miracles in the unseen. I'm redeeming time, realigning hearts, rearranging outcomes. And not just to bring you temporary peace, but to set your feet in a new place of lasting wholeness, of divine joy, of undeniable transformation. You will not walk into your future as a version of your past. You will not carry shame into this new chapter. You will not shrink to fit back into places I've called you out of. I'm bringing you into rooms where your full light will be welcomed, where your presence will be purpose, where your words will carry wisdom and healing, where your very existence will remind others of my faithfulness. And yes, some will be surprised. Some who counted you out. Some who dismissed your value. Some who only knew your struggle but never saw your surrender. They will watch as I lift you, not to exalt you above others, but to make my glory visible through you. Because everything I do through your life points back to my love, and I love you deeply. Still, always. From the very beginning until this very moment and beyond. My beloved child, now that you've come this far past the silence, through the sorrow beyond the fear, let me show you something sacred. The beginning you never thought you'd see, the place where ashes become gardens, where mourning turns to movement, where your story, once marked by survival, now unfolds in strength, wisdom, and quiet radiance. You are standing at the threshold of a new season, not because the past no longer matters, but because it has fulfilled its purpose. Every tear watered your growth. Every setback softened your heart. Every unanswered prayer taught your soul to recognize my whisper. You didn't just endure the storm, you became rooted in it. You didn't just make it through the night, you learned how to listen to the dawn. And now, I'm calling you to walk forward, not timidly, not as a wounded one still waiting for healing, but as one who has been healed in the secret places. The scars you carry are not signs of defeat. They are signs of glory. Proof that grace held you when the world could not. Evidence that what was meant to break you instead became the very thing I used to build you. There are still voices that will try to remind you of who you used to be, of what you lost, of where you failed. But you are not who you were. And this time, you will recognize those voices for what they are. Echoes of an old season that no longer owns you, because I have clothed you in truth. And the truth is, you are whole. You are free. You are ready. You don't need to keep proving your healing to anyone. You don't need to explain how far you've come. You don't need to shrink to be palatable or silence your light to protect others' comfort. I am sending you now not out of obligation, but out of overflow. From the place of rest, you will move. From the place of peace, you will speak. From the place of identity, you will rise. This next season will not require the same battle posture you once carried. You will no longer need to fight to be heard, to be loved, to be seen, because I have established you. You are no longer begging for a seat at the table. I have prepared a table for you in the presence of all that tried to silence you. And I will be there breaking bread with you, pouring oil on your head, whispering joy into the marrow of your bones. Do you see it, child? This is not just your comeback. This is your becoming. You are becoming the one who blesses without bitterness, the one who carries fire without burning others, the one who stands in truth without shame. You are becoming the one I saw before time began, the one I formed in love, called in light, and filled with destiny. And now I am aligning things in your favor, not as a reward for performance, but as the fulfillment of promise. Doors that were once closed will not resist you anymore, not because you force them open, but because you now carry the authority of someone who has been with me. You will walk into rooms and carry the atmosphere of heaven with you. Peace will follow you like a shadow. Wisdom will rise in your mouth without you striving to find the words. People will ask how, and you will answer not with pride, but with quiet awe. It was the Lord. Because this is what I do. I take the overlooked, the broken, the underestimated, and I raise them up with grace so radiant that no one can deny it was me. And child, I'm doing it in you now. Let go of the fear that it's too good to be true. Let go of the lie that you're not ready. Let go of the worry that you'll mess it up. You won't, because I will walk with you every step. I'm not sending you out alone, I'm going before you, clearing the path, surrounding you with the right people, shielding you from old traps and new distractions. This time will be different, not because life will be perfect, but because you have been changed. You now carry vision, not just dreams. You now walk in trust, not just hope. You now know my heart, not just my name. And that intimacy deeper than words, older than time is what will sustain you. So rise now, not with trembling but with joy, not with fear but with fire, not because everything is certain, but because I am, and I, your God, have declared, this is your time, this is your turning, this is your testimony in motion. The promise is alive, and so are you, my beloved child. Now that your heart has tasted the first breath of newness, walk with me a little further. Let me take you by the hand, not to rush you, not to force you forward, but to show you what I've been preparing all along. You have crossed the desert. You have wept beside dry wells. You have wandered in seasons where the horizon never seemed to move. But now you will see the land I promised, not with the eyes of fear, but with eyes of faith. The ground beneath you is changing. You may not have noticed it yet, but it's no longer the same soil. It is fertile now, softened by surrender, enriched by every buried dream, every broken prayer, every seed you planted when no one was watching. You are walking into a harvest season, one not born out of striving, but out of the simple, sacred yes you kept giving, day after day, through the tears, through the silence, through the doubt. I know it felt like nothing was happening. I know it seemed like your obedience went unnoticed. But I saw it all. Every time you chose love over bitterness, every time you remained when you could have run, every time you gave when you had nothing left, you were never losing, you were sowing. And now the first shoots are breaking through the surface, not in loud, dramatic ways, but gently, quietly, faithfully. Watch how I unfold this part of your story, not with chaos, but with clarity, not with force, but with favor. I am not returning you to what was. I am establishing you in what always was yours. I am redeeming lost time. I am restoring what seemed too damaged. I am renewing the fire in your belly, the dreams you thought had died, the hope you thought was buried too deep to reach. This is not just a new season. This is a holy reset, a divine clearing of what no longer serves the purpose I have for you. Yes, some things will fall away, people, patterns, places, but do not grieve their absence. Their time has passed, and I am making room for what blesses, not burdens, for what anchors, not drains. You've carried too much for too long, but that is ending. You will no longer walk with the weight of old shame. You will no longer second-guess your worth when you enter new spaces. You will no longer water down your voice just to be accepted. I am giving you holy boldness, not arrogance, not hardness, but the boldness of one who knows who they belong to. You are mine. And because you are mine, you walk in authority, not the kind this world admires, but the kind that moves in love, speaks with wisdom, and acts with discernment. You will become the one others come to, not because of your perfection, but because of your peace. They will sit in your presence and feel me. They will hear your words and feel truth awakening in them. They will watch how you carry joy, not as a performance, but as evidence that your soul has been with me. And it has. All those hidden hours in your room, whispering my name, crying into your pillow, asking me for direction, I was there every time. And now it's your turn to pour out, not to prove yourself, but to overflow. You will not run dry, because you are connected to the well that never runs out. You don't have to fear being needed. You don't have to hide from your calling. You were created for this, not in pride, but in posture. The posture of one who kneels before me daily and rises with heaven's scent on their shoulders. You will bless others because you've been broken. You will speak life because you've known death. You will carry light because you've walked through darkness and didn't let it consume you. You will love deeply because I loved you deeply even when you didn't love yourself. And in this, others will know that I am God. I will be glorified through your wholeness. I will be magnified in your quiet strength. I will be seen not just in what you say, but in how you live, how you forgive, how you remain steady when others tremble. This is the gift I'm giving you now, a new way of being. No longer hurried, no longer haunted, no longer afraid. You are walking in rhythm with me. You are living in step with peace. You are building not just a life, but a legacy. And I, the Lord your God, rejoice over you with singing. Yes, even now, even here, you are becoming all I dreamed for you to be. My beloved child, you have journeyed far, not just across time, but through the terrain of your own soul. And now, as we come to this sacred moment, I want you to pause and truly take it in. You are no longer who you were, not because life suddenly became easy, or because the pain disappeared, but because you allowed me to walk with you through it. Because you allowed grace to do what force never could. Because in your weakest hour, you chose to lean on me, not retreat into despair. And that choice, repeated in the quiet places, has changed everything. I want you to know this: you are ready. Not because you feel ready, but because I've prepared you. I've shaped your heart to carry light in a world that desperately needs it. I've trained your hands to build what others only dared to dream. I've widened your spirit so you can contain more love, more wisdom, more of my spirit than ever before. You are not stepping into this new season as the same person who once feared rejection or failure or disappointment. Those things no longer define you. What defines you now is my presence within you, around you, flowing through every word you speak and every step you take. You don't need permission anymore. You don't need validation. You don't need applause or approval to walk in what I've placed before you. Because I have already commissioned you. You are my ambassador, not in title, but in truth. You carry the fragrance of heaven now. You've been marinated in mercy. You've been broken and mended in the fires of compassion. You've learned how to stay soft when life tempted you to harden. You've chosen forgiveness when revenge would have been easier. That is what makes you dangerous to darkness. You will walk into rooms and chains will break, not because you try, but because you're free. You will speak and eyes will open, not because you're eloquent, but because your words are anointed. You will love people back to life, note because you're trying to fix them, but because you are a living testimony that resurrection is real. And you didn't get here alone. You got here because I never left your side. You got here because you listened, even when you didn't understand. You stayed when others walked away. You kept loving when your heart was tired. You kept sowing when you had no guarantee of harvest. You kept standing when nothing seemed to move. And now, everything is moving. The doors I open for you will not be doors of survival, but doors of significance. You will not simply exist, you will establish. You will not just be restored, you will rebuild. You will not just overcome, you will overflow. You are not just healed, you are now a healer. I'm sending you out not as a servant begging for scraps, but as a child confident in their inheritance. Because what I've given you cannot be stolen. It cannot be undone by the opinions of others. It cannot be reversed by circumstances. It cannot be shaken by storms. What I've placed in you is eternal, and I will walk with you in every room, through every season, into every assignment. I will whisper when the world grows loud. I will anchor you when winds shift. I will remind you again and again, you are mine. Let go of the last remnants of fear. Shake off the dust of your past. Stretch your hands wide and receive what I've been waiting to give you. Joy without condition, peace without explanation, hope without hesitation, purpose without pressure. The world does not need another performer. It needs you, authentic, rooted, radiant with the love you have received from me. So, live like you've been rescued. Love like you've been forgiven. Speak like you've seen the face of grace. And rest, knowing the God of all creation calls you his own. From the first breath to the final day and into eternity, you will always be my beloved child. Now that you have heard every word I longed for you to receive, be still and let it sink in. Let my truth settle not only in your mind, but deep into your bones, into the places where fear once lived, where lies once whispered, where hope once flickered on the edge of fading. You are no longer walking in shadows. You are standing in the light. This light does not come from within the world, it comes from within me, and now it radiates through you. You are not carrying a temporary feeling. You are walking in an eternal truth. You are mine. And because you are mine, everything changes. From this moment forward, you will walk with a new posture, not as one who is lost, but as one who has been found. Not as one who is striving to earn love, but as one who is overflowing with it. Not as one who is afraid of the future, but as one who knows the future is being held by faithful hands. There will still be storms, but now you will not fear them. There will still be battles, but now you will not face them alone. There will still be waiting, but now you will wait with a steady heart, knowing that every delay is filled with purpose. My beloved, this is your commissioning. Not to run ahead in anxiety, but to walk forward in intimacy. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep walking with me. When you feel the wind rise again, pause and remember my voice. When doubts creep back in, breathe and recall what I have spoken over you. When the world tries to pull you in many directions, return to this still place. The place where you and I meet. The place where I remind you, you are not what you do. You are not what you produce. You are not what others expect. You are mine. That identity is enough. That identity is unshakable. That identity is eternal. I go before you now to make the crooked places straight, to light the path ahead, to place divine opportunities in your hands. But I also walk beside you to laugh with you, cry with you, speak with you in the middle of the day and the middle of the night. I will be your friend, your shepherd, your refuge, your reward. You will see miracles. You will carry favor. You will release peace. And not because you are powerful in yourself, but because you have made space for me to dwell. This is what pleases me. A heart that yields, a soul that listens, a life that loves. So now, step forward. Step into the river of life I've been preparing for you. Let the old weights fall. Let the new song rise. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too small. You are my beloved child. And everything I have, every promise, every blessing, every secret of heaven that I delight to share belongs to you, now and forevermore. Amen.